Yay.
Hello and welcome back to another interview with Stream Team members and upcoming members of the Right Crew. With us today is Alledria Hurt, an incredibly gifted author capable of producing massive, prolific quantities of quality writing. If you would like to watch her stream and write with her, she streams on Twitch as Noir Lady Luck. And if you want to tell us a little bit more about your career and where you started, I'd love to hear it. And then we'll go on to our questions.
All right. Well, I've been officially publishing since 2014. I have 20 pieces out right now, I think. I'm not really sure. I stopped counting a while ago because the reality is I'm going to just keep putting out work. And because I'm just going to keep putting out work, knowing the overall number isn't really necessary. But I've been writing pretty much since I could hold a crayon. Like most of us in the writing community, I started early. And at first I didn't do novels. I actually started out writing fanfic like many people. I followed that up with text-based RP, which some of us may know from the earlier days of the internet. And then a friend of mine basically dared me to write a novel using NaNoWriMo. And I said, okay, here we go. And it was off to the races from there.
So, from that first novel, is that what inspired you to become a novel from NaNoWriMo, or was there something else? And what brought you to Twitch as a streamer, writing streamer specifically?
Which was kind of an accident. Which was kind of an accident. And this is my girl who has decided she wants to be all over my desk. So, Twitch, I don't remember. Oh, I do remember. There was an editor that I was watching on Twitch at one point, and I was like, you mean you can get people to watch you work? And then I was like, oh, maybe this could work as an accountability buddy system. So I just kind of started. I didn't really have a long-term plan, but that was now 2 years ago, at least. And because I've been an affiliate for almost 2 years now. And it was mostly just I started doing it because I needed the accountability of writing every day. And then I found other people who were also doing the same thing. Or rather, I was discovered by a member of the Twitch Writing Network. And that's when I became acquainted with you. And it's kind of all is history from there.
And what drew you from writing to publishing and becoming an author?
Oh, God. The gremlins in my head are not allowed to live there rent free. I'm like, if I'm going to write books, I'm going to sell books. It's like, I might as well. Because at least that way, all the time that I'm putting in is actually being used for something constructive. Because quite literally, if I'm not selling, sweetheart, no. Off.
Kitty attention requirements.
Yes. my babies are very active when I'm supposed to be interviewing. So basically, I just realized that if I was going to do it, I might as well just do it all the way. And that's how I became an indie, because I'm also impatient, and I've been impatient for a long time, and waiting, the querying process takes entirely too long, in my opinion. So it's like, besides, I started publishing in the golden age, in like the golden age of there are no gatekeepers. So I can write anything I want and sell it direct to the consumer. So why not?
What is your writing process like?
My writing process is actually in the process of evolving, because I'm learning new editing skills as I go.
Mhm.
And because I'm learning new editing skills, now I have technically 3 cues worth of stuff. I have the piece that I'm drafting now, the piece that I'm editing now, and the piece that I'm rewriting based on the edits. So at any given point in time, I've got three or 4 projects running at the same time, depending on where I am and what I'm doing. And a lot of it has to be done here at the house, because like words track changes. I don't have Word on every one of my machines. So because I track changes on from edits to rewrites, I do my editing and my rewriting on my main computer, and then I do drafting everywhere from my phone to my tablet to my computer to my laptop.
That keeps you going everywhere, literally.
Yeah, I could literally, because I have Scrivener on all of those devices, and I have Dropbox on all of those devices, I can literally work in the same file on multiple pieces of equipment. So if I'm like out somewhere and I'm stuck for 30 minutes or more, I can sit there and go, let me type out some words.
What are your favorite genres to write in?
Oh God, I genre hop like a frog on a hot rock. Um, yeah. Right now, I am writing horror and alien romances at the same time.
Hmm.
So one project is an alien romance, one project is a horror, and the other is just like, and I'm just bouncing back and forth between the two. So I don't really have a favorite genre to write in. It's just whatever strikes my little gremlin heart at the time. It's like I can do everything from romance to horror to sci-fi to fantasy to drama. I can do all of those things, but it all ends up being kind of a mess, because I don't manage multiple pen names. Everything is written under my name, and because everything is written under my name, it means that you're never quite sure what's coming out next.
Hmm. I could see that as creating quite a conundrum for readers.
Yes, it
You're
is
having
not
fun with it.
it is not standard wisdom to genre hop under the same name. It is definitely not standard wisdom to do that. But I I look at it this way. It's like I could put my eggs in multiple baskets and do multiple pen names, or I can just put all my eggs in one basket and let you pick and choose what you think is interesting.
Mm, this is true. So What are your favorite books or favorite authors?
Oh, I'm a diehard Stephen King fan. Dark Tower is something I read all of the 7 main books of the Dark Tower about once a year. So, yeah, I also have a deep and abiding love for the novel Cell, which, let me tell you a quick story. The first time that I bought Cell, I bought it while I was still using a like Nokia, a little brick Nokia phone. And I bought it in Best Buy the day that I was taking my car in to have the radio redone. So I bought the book and I'm sitting there reading this novel, and the premise is that a pulse happens through everybody's cell phone that causes people to go like berserk. So I'm just getting to the part where people are starting to go berserk, where the lady is trying to attack the ice cream vendor and my phone goes off. And I about tripped out. I was just staring at this phone because I was like, if I pick it up, am I going to go berserk? Am I going to die? And it's just like, what? So, needless to say, I let that go to voicemail.
Mhm.
And I was just sitting there looking at it going, this is awful. This is so, that's how good he got me.
Mhm.
Was that
That
I fully believed that I was going to go berserk if I picked up my phone.
I love that. And I love when an author can do that, can have you that in the moment wrapped up just right. And you're
Yes.
stuck there until something makes you not stuck for a few minutes.
Yeah. And
I love
needless to
that.
say, I was just like, I looked at my phone sideways for days after I finished that book.
I can understand that. So, what are your goals for your future as an author?
Hit the New York Times bestsellers list. I don't know. I honestly, I don't get that far ahead of myself. I'm like, let's just finish the next piece. I'm like, if I get fame and money and accolades and all that fun stuff, that's great. But I'm really just kind of in it because the gremlins can't live in my head rent free. I'm I'm really just in it to do it because I don't have any other major outlet.
Mhm.
As I've told people on several occasions, I don't have a lot of hobbies. I don't I don't do a lot of anything else. Most of what I do is right. And because most of what I do is right, it's like I'm doing it for the joy of doing it. And it is my outlet. It is my hobby as well as my job.
Mhm. That's awesome when we can do that. So, what were some of the challenges you had when you or faced when you were a new author, and how did you overcome those?
Most of the challenges that I faced before, I'm still facing now. It's mostly uh what's the word I'm looking for? Visibility. Because in the era of no gatekeepers, it is quite interesting to get visible.
Mhm.
So I'm still dealing with that because even though if you really look me up, if you look me up by first name, last name, you will quite literally find me. That's it. There ain't a whole lot of other people with my name.
Right.
So I am very visible on that score, but I am not very visible in the fact that I write a great deal. I don't I don't really launch my books. I just kind of write them and send them out onto the ocean all by themselves. And that is something that I really need to reconsider, because my name recognition for me is fairly easy. But like I said, I genre hop like a frog on a hot rock, and I don't really keep to a publication schedule, both of which are things that I should probably do more of. Well, less genre hopping and more keeping to a publication schedule so people actually know when I'm going to put something out. Because I finish about a book every 2 months right now, 2 to 3 months. And then,
That's quite a bit.
yeah, I draft quite quickly. It takes me a little bit longer now to put things out because, of course, I'm editing myself. And I do that on Twitch. So if you actually watch my Twitch stream, you'll get to see me do edits as well. Because I figure if I'm going to open my door to my process, I might as well open the whole door so you can see both what I wrote and what happens to what I wrote. So I just I just write and I edit with the door open. Now, does that mean that I take other people's thought process into account when I do these things? Not really. I am 100% like I write for me as my primary reader. I write for my own personal enjoyment. And that actually may also be something that I need to consider changing, that I need to write more for my readers' particular enjoyment, but I don't, because I genre hop so much, I don't necessarily know who my reader is. Because, of course, one of the things they will tell you is that readers generally are genre specific. And so people who read widely, the way that I do, who read fiction, nonfiction, read fantasy, sci-fi, horror, read across genres, are actually fairly rare.
Yeah, or at least with regard to reading across genre and expecting the one author to meet all of those genres, I'd say that's even more so rare. So you're in a really unique place.
Yeah, it's a nice little hole that I've dug for myself.
I don't think necessarily a bad one, but I'm sure over time options will develop and opportunities will hone that for you.
Yes.
What are some of your favorite things about writing on Twitch?
I think the sole favorite thing about me writing on Twitch is the fact that I write with the door open. That I actually have people who will pop in and they'll talk to me. And sometimes they giggle about the things that I write. And they will carry those thoughts to elsewhere on the internet. That is by far my favorite part of writing on Twitch, is just the fact that I'm able to share. My biggest thing is that I don't like, if I'm gonna put it out there, I'm gonna put it all the way out there. Now there are certain caveats to that, like I won't write smut on stream.
Understand.
I will not write and or edit smut on stream because I don't know who's watching my streams. So I don't want anybody to feel like they are made uncomfortable by the, reality of smut.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, I'm writing an alien romance right now and I'm editing an alien romance right now. So, yeah, there's going to be smut. It's just not
Mm-hmm.
going to be on stream.
So if you want to see the complete book, you're just going to have to buy it.
Exactly. So if you want to read the steamy scenes, have to buy the book.
So just staying on Twitch for a little bit longer, my understanding is that you have earned a nickname called of Word Slayer. Would you like to explain to the audience why?
That's something that a mutual friend of ours, Darth, likes to call me the word slayer because I have a tendency to draft very quickly. I will write something like 2,000 to 2,500 words in the course of about 45 minutes. So because I do that and I am so fast, that's where I got the word slayer nickname from. Is that I just hack and slash my way through those words.
It just amuses me, and I think it fits. You were the person I think on our team that reached 1,000,000 words in one half of a year as opposed to a full year.
Yeah, essentially. I
I just thought that was
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like when you put out a 50 to 75K book every 2 months, you can get 1,000,000 words pretty fast.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that's of course assuming that I'm not writing multiple projects at the same time because I also write for work as a fiction writer. So this is all stuff I can't put on stream, but it is another couple 25 50,000 words a month if I'm really cooking.
Absolutely.
And
That's a lot.
it's a lot. And people occasionally ask me, how do I remember all of it? And I'm like, this is why we have story Bibles, dear. Because I don't have to remember all of it. Because if I remembered all of it, goodness gracious, I would have a head the size of the size of a small country trying to remember all the details.
Right. So, what are some of your favorite books about writing? Craft oriented kind of stuff, marketing, things that you enjoy.
I think my favorite book right now is Understanding Show Don't Tell. It's the one I read most recently, and it's actually been very useful in making me consider uh, how I put together a book. Because of course, showing and telling are two sides of the same coin, and they do both have a place in a book. So knowing when to flip between the two and how to flip between the two are very important skills. Because of course, if you dramatize, you make your reader tired. If you tell, you make them bored. But if you know how to flip between the two to keep the tension going and move the story along, you're doing quite well.
This is true. So, what advice would you give to an aspiring author?
Sit your butt down and write. Don't, there are a lot of things that look like writing. There are a lot of things that feel like you are making progress. But unless your word count is climbing, you are not writing.
This is true. Nice and simple, but 100% factual.
Yeah, because
One
the
of the
thing about it is, it's like you can write, then edit. And if you're doing that, if you're going back over the same piece over and over again, your perfectionism is eating your momentum.
Mhm.
You want your momentum. You want to finish. It's like there's an old rule that is like you will write. You will finish what you write. Now, I don't necessarily mean that if it's a complete and utter like disaster, you should continue to write it, even though you have realized it's a disaster.
Mhm.
You may not be capable of writing it yet. You may need to hone your skills a little more before you can write that story. But in most cases, a lot of people give up in the middle of a perfectly good story because it slows down a lot and it feels like a slog. No, keep slogging and finish it.
Absolutely. You can't polish if you don't have something to polish.
This is true.
So, as we go on, where can people find you online?
If you can spell my name, I am essentially the first 5 pages of Google. Yeah,
And if
I'm,
you're looking, her name will be right now, will be on the screen the whole interview. So have fun with that.
yeah, because I'm one of those people. Last time I Googled myself and actually checked to see how many of us there were in the United States, I was essentially the only person with the spelling of my name.
Makes for finding you easy. Now we just need to boost that visibility. And so if you are watching this, make sure you share this video out. Besides the wonderful tidbits and advice we've received in this great discussion, there's a lot more wonderful things to look forward to. And you are on Twitch as Noir Lady Luck.
Yep.
If you guys are up early mornings Eastern time, make sure you pop over there and write with the Word Slayer. And thank you so much for talking with me today. I appreciate your time and I appreciate all of the wonderful advice you shared.
You're welcome as always.
I'm looking forward to seeing all of you in the next one. Bye-bye.